Hey everyone, this is Rosie, the main man Ramos. This is not the main talk. That's still on Monday, 8 o'clock. I'm still looking for a guest to be on the show, so there's that. But today I'm going to be talking about something that a lot of people do know that I have, but people on Facebook and live streams don't know that I have. Well, as you well know, for anyone who do know me, I'm autistic. I have autism. I've had it since I was born, but for years my whole family thought I had dyslexia. My mother thought I had dyslexia.
Say hello to my little friend.
My father thought I had dyslexia.
Who turned this? You or Louis?
I think Louis. I think my sister thought I had autism. Not autism. Most of my family thought I had autism. Not autism. Dyslexia. Sorry for the interruption in the background. Well, anyway, there was only been one relative that knew I did not have dyslexia, and we're gonna call her Auntie M. I'm not going to say her real name, but we'll just say her name is Auntie M. Auntie M looked right at me right away and knew right away I did not have dyslexia. But to make sure, she had to bring me to the doctor. Brought me to the doctor, and she was right, the doctor was right, and I was right. When I wasn't right, I didn't know what was going on. The doctor looked right at me and said, "Well, Mr. Ramos, you have autism. You don't have dyslexia. You are autistic. You have autism." And my aunt had to bring me aside and explain to me what was autism. And autism is it's technically not a mental disorder. It's a learning disability. It's basically a learning disability, and you have that. And she had to explain, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not stupid. They're only stupid for the people who suggested it. Are only the ones that you are suggesting. You're not stupid. You just have a learning disability. You're autistic. And my aunt had to bring my whole family along and say, no, Rosie Ramos does not have dyslexia. He has autism. He is autistic. And she had to explain to them that, again, what she told me. He's not, he could do very well. It's just that he has trouble learning things, and he has trouble being around people, which sometimes I do. I do have trouble meeting new people. So, for years after that, I had autism. I would remember certain things, don't remember certain things. Whoever liked me, whoever's watching my video, please give me a like. So, I'm actually high-functioning autistic. Basically saying I could do normal things. It's just that it takes me a while to do those normal things. And I have to be told I have those things. I have to be reminded most of the times, hey, do this, do this, do this. It's not my fault. I'm autistic. It takes the time for me to do it. Okay, so whoever's watching this video, give me a like. Wow, my skin is silky smooth. Well, I did put activated charcoal on my face this morning, and I was like ripping it up like a zombie afterwards because I had a lot of things in my face, but I could see the effect that the activated charcoal did. Well, anyway, going back to the autism thing. Yeah, I actually have autism. And I was very good with the camera. I'm very surprised how impressive I am with being in photography. I've done a lot of photography. I'll do some photography stories I'll give you. And I've also done Sandy I think that's your name. Thank you for watching. So, going back to my autism story.
Luis!
Going back to my autism story.
Que no tiene autism, tú lo que tienes es poca vergüenza.
I'm on live, please.
I know, I'm playing around. Relax.
Anyway, going back.
Me dijo Marina.
Something. Yeah, that's another thing that people with autism have is like when they're around loud noises, it kind of disturbs us in a way, or it distracts us. So like every time I go to a nightclub, I usually go like this, or it takes a while, because the one thing that most not people with autism has, because again I do have a hard time talking. So the one thing that the people with autism have, most people, is that they can't be around loud noises.
So when I'm autistic, that drives me fucking nuts. Excuse my French. Especially when I'm in a movie theater or a scary movie, I cover my ears.
Well, that doesn't mean you have autism. It's just that you can't be around loud music. It's just that studies have shown people with autism, it distracts us. So I could be like, let's say for instance, I could be at a photo shoot right now.
There's different types of autism. Go ahead.
There's different types of autism, but let's say I'm doing a photo shoot.
Luis, your food is done.
For someone. I'm doing a photo shoot. Let's just say I'm doing a photo shoot, and someone decided to play loud music. It will distract me from doing it. I could be like getting a good camera, getting a good photo, and someone just goes starts playing loud music. It will distract me to the point where I can't take the photo. Because again, people with autism, loud music does affect us. Most of them, not all of us, most of us. Now there are different aspects of autism. My autism is different from another person's autism. So you can't just say, "Hey, he's just like me." No, my autism is different from theirs. The only thing that's similar is they have autism. And I've been on the internet and I found out that there have been people who have had autism but was cured of it. And I'm trying to do that. Because when you're autistic, life is a little bit more harder for you. So it's my life has been a lot more difficult for me. But like I said, my aunt was the only one that knew I didn't have dyslexia. I have relatives who do have dyslexia, but for years, my mother, my father, my brother, my sister all thought I had dyslexia. But my aunt was the only one that spotted I didn't. I had autism. So it's still hard for me to do normal things. I'm scared to do something. So let's say for instance I'm trying to cook something. I might actually set the place on fire. And that's what scares me. That I might actually set the place on fire. I almost did at one point. A few years back, I almost set my cousin's house on fire. Because I was cooking I was making pancakes. And the curtain almost landed on the stove and it almost caught fire. My cousin ran in and tried to put it out and I got yelled at for it. So yeah, life is kind of difficult for me, and it's not easy. People with autism, you don't feel sorry for me. That's the one thing I don't want, is people to come on here and say, "Oh look, there goes Razio Ramos. He has autism. We gotta feel sorry for him. We gotta treat him special." You know, that's what it really irks me, is that people treat me special because I have autism. I mean, why can I be treated the same way as anyone else? I mean, you make it seem like I'm a zombie and I'm about to bite you and turn you into a zombie. You see how ridiculous that sounds? You know, I could do normal things a little bit. It just takes me time to do it. So, I only have one guest watching this. Well, anyway, I wanted to share to you that I'm not ashamed of my autism. And it does take me time to do normal things. And I actually, at one point, matter of fact, I'm not even going to share that story. I'm just going to say that I actually had to stand up and talk about my autism. I had to do a public speaking event. I'm not going to say where or who, because I do not want to anger this person, but I'm going to say I had to do public speaking about about my autism. And there are different people that I've met, people who had autism that do things that are outside of their control. In my case, I actually talk to myself or go like this. There are times where I just zone out. There are times where I just can't hear I can't pay attention at times. There'll be times where I forget things. And they go, well, he can't help it. That's how he is. He has autism. And I've been bullied for it because of my autism. And people at my job know I have autism. Like some people, here's the thing, people at my job, I'm not going to tell you where I work, because, you know, I don't want any of my managers or anybody who watches my lives to know. Like, here's the thing, people at my job don't know that I do lives or I do things outside of what I do at my job, so they don't know they don't know that I do lives and I do modeling and acting. I don't bring that up at my jobs because it's not a place for me to learn. If they find out that I do it, I'll tell them. But people at my job know that I have autism, and they don't treat me any different than I do. At times they will tell me, hey, they will remind me, but nonetheless, they don't treat me as any other worker. They don't treat me any different than any other worker. So we're going to move that away. We're going to take that away. And it's kind of difficult. So let's see how many minutes I have here left. Okay, I got 13 minutes on the autism spectrum, on my autism. You know, I'm trying to look for a girlfriend. It's hard for me to do that because, you know, what girl would date a guy with autism? They'll either do it as, like, there will be women who date guys with autism. But then there are some that will just do it just to make themselves feel better. You know, I did date a few girls in the past. But, it would later be like a cruel joke. And they would exploit my autism and say, oh, you're retarded, and you're dumb, and you're never going to amount to anything. You know, it's hard. It's hard for people like me to do this. And then there are people that when I try doing something positive with my life, or say, hey, I'm going to try and do something, I'll get accused of crying for attention or something. Like, oh, there he is. There goes Roz. He's crying for attention because he's talking about autism, even though I'm not. You know, here's the thing. Everyone on social media cries for attention. So you'd be lying if you're saying you're not. If you're not going on social media and spreading this, you're not crying for attention. It's just how you do it. It's how the determines what you do with what you do. It determines and how you do get. It determines how you do it and how you get your attention. If you do it the good way, yeah, you're crying for attention, doing it for positive reasons. But if you do it the bad way, that's the one that people complain about. So, moving on. I'm very good with computers and cameras, but everything else is just hard for me. Like I said, I try to hold a relationship, and it's hard. It's really hard for me. Because there's a particular girl there are girls that I'm attracted to. If you ever saw my old Razio Ramos vlogs channel, I made a video addressing the fact that I actually found out I was attracted to black girls. And this all stemmed from the fact, it's actually an odd fact about that, because about that story, I talked about I'll tell you the story later, but it does go back. But this is a funny story, and again, my autism makes it harder for me to try and keep up with the story. But like I said, my aunt was the only one that knew. Everyone in my family thought I had dyslexia. Like I mentioned before, everyone thought I had dyslexia, but I didn't. I repeat myself, I'm sorry. It's just that I'm trying to talk about my autism. It's just that it's really hard for me to try and talk and do other things. I'm not those autism. There are people who are mouth breathers, who go when those are the type of people who have autism. Mouth breathers who breathe and can't talk and breathe at the same time, or can't walk and talk at the same time. I could do that. It's just that it's harder for me to it's just hard. It's just hard. See how many minutes I have left. So it's really hard for me to talk about my autism. I don't talk about my autism. I don't use it as a scapegoat. I hardly ever talk about my autism. I don't ever say, hey, I do say it at times. I do say it at a few people at my job. I had to say it at my job. I had to say it to my manager, my sort manager, and everything else. I'm like, listen, I'm autistic. I can't. It's harder for me to do something. I got yelled at by managers before, and some managers understood. It's like, yeah, I understand you have autism, and they're a little bit more lenient to me. But then you have other managers who just don't care, and will just say, I don't care if you have autism. This is not hard. You should know this right away. You've been here for a year. It's like, yeah, again, people who have autism, it's harder for them to learn something. Even it takes them a year, it takes them 2 years just to learn something. It took me, you know how long it took me to say the word hospital? It took me 7 years to say the word hospital right. 7 years. I would always say hospital, but I never knew how to say the word hospital right. It took me, I want to say 8 years to learn how to write the word 5. I never knew how to write the word 5 right. I always had to have a doctor, not 5. I had to learn how to make the number 5. It took me, again, I think, I don't know how many, 5 years. No, 8 years. How do you how to make the number 5. 8 years. Wow.
8?
8 years. It took me, I want to say, another 7 years how to spell the word girl. I always had to get a doctor, not a doctor, a teacher to help me spell the word girl. So, it's an endless, it is basically an endless roller coaster. It's an endless roller coaster for me, just to talk about autism in general. And before anyone says anything, contrary to popular belief, autism is not a mental disorder. It's a learning disability. Okay, whoever tells you, oh, you have autism, you're mentally disabled, like, no, you're not mentally disabled. It's not a mental disorder. It has nothing to do with mental. It is actually a learning disability. And I found that out the hard way when I one time went on YouTube and I tried to look up the myths on autism, because again, I thought I was mental. Looked it up, and I looked it up, and I found the video. I do not own the rights to this song. Anyway, and I looked it up and I found out, wait a minute, myths on autism, and there was this white dude who said, no, autism is not a mental disorder, it's a learning disability. So, it's not a mental disorder. So, yeah, it's hard. We're in the 20-minute mark. We're in the 22 minutes. I just did a 22-minute video addressing autism, and I felt like I had to talk about it. So, tune in tomorrow for the main talk with the main man, Rosario Ramos. I might have a guest. I might not have a guest. I am still going to try and find a guest for the show. If I don't get a guest, I'll just do the show normally. I'll just come up with a topic and just address it. Matter of fact, I might actually do that. I might actually have a topic on that. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, because I don't want to just say, hey, the topic is going to be this, and then all of a sudden I get a guest and we have to change the show. So I'm going to try and find a guest. If the guest can't make it, I will just do the topic anyway. I don't know who is sending me stuff. But nonetheless, I'm still a normal person regardless. It's not like, if I cut my hand, I have like purple blood or something, you know what I mean? I still have the same color blood as anyone else. I'm still human. I'm not from another planet. Last time I checked, there's not a planet called autism, and we all came from here and try to take over the world or anything. But I'm hoping, I feel good talking about this, and I just wanted to just let it out and just say, hey, I'm autistic, and
oh my God,
I felt like I had to share it with people. 23 minutes, but yeah, I might just have a topic. If I don't have a guest tomorrow, I'll just have a topic on the main talk and just say, hey, this is today's topic. I don't want to talk about the topic just yet, because again, I might have a guest. So, Sandy, thank you for watching. Thank you all for watching my autism video, and I will